I want to kind of go over, because it's about creating the sales techniques and understanding what fish you are and understanding how to use that information as you move forward and talk to your prospects. So just keep that in mind as we go through these trainings. And then there's some other personality traits outside the four fish and the colors that I'm going to touch on a little bit too as well here coming up in the next few trainings, because the 16 personalities are really summed up in these four. But so there are a lot more involved. And also everybody has some of all of these traits in them. You do have a driving force. So some of you all may be a dolphin, but you will still have some characteristics of whale, some characteristics of urchin, sea urchin, some characteristics as shark. And once you learn to identify yourself as well, not only the person you're selling to, it really helps you, because you now don't expect yourself. Because some of you all look at a very successful person. Let's take like a Grant Cardone, who is like all over it. Like Grant Cardone is like all over it all the time. And some of you all are like, I wish I could be more like Grant Cardone, and I'm not as aggressive as him, and I really want to be wealthy and be the kind of person he is. And that's not your personality. Grant Cardone is a shark. So if you are a whale, then you're never going to be a Grant Cardone. And if you are, you're going to be so uncomfortable with yourself that you're going to drive yourself crazy. So it's not a good idea. You have to understand, when you say you want to be like somebody, that you want to be like them because you see them as being some famous, successful person that's creating income? Or do you want to be like them because they have the same characteristics and personality traits that you do? Because if they don't, then it's very difficult for you to be like that person, if that makes any sense. So moving forward. So I see that we've got some people here joined, and I know we're going to get some more people joining here momentarily as they come on. If at any given time you guys can't hear me clearly, please jump in that chat box and let me know. If you guys agree with what I was saying, just let me know. Yes. If you've got any comments or anything, drop them in that chat. Of course, I love to see those because it gives me some notion that you guys are understanding what I'm saying when I'm giving examples and all the things that go along with that. So you see here, just a way to follow us here. Business Sales 5, who are you selling to, the four fish? You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I know we got some people looking at this training tonight on YouTube Live. So you can take a look at there as well. If you do not have the link to Zoom, or for some reason you can't get into Zoom, always remember you can go to that YouTube channel. You'll also see on the edited videos, as I edit them and put them out, you will see that there's a place to subscribe on the bottom right-hand corner to the YouTube page. And there'll also be several tabs that'll go across the top of the video that will give you other videos to take a look at that may be in the same learning space as this video. And sometimes I even send you to another channel, like maybe a John C. Maxwell's channel or things like that, because I may be talking about leadership, and I know that that's something that he concentrates on his YouTube channel. So just get plugged in with us. Let's get connected on LinkedIn as well. And let's look at some testimonials if I'm helping you. I definitely don't want dishonest testimonials. So if I'm able to help you out any in your business, it doesn't matter what business you're in, whether you're a realtor, whether you own a tax office or do taxes corporately or individually, whether you're a personal trainer or whether you're in network marketing, it doesn't matter. If I'm helping you at all, shoot me a testimonial, shoot me a photo to you as well. So as I continue to update my site, my website, I can possibly put a picture of you in a testimonial there as well. And I also use those testimonials in my proposals when I'm picking up new clients. Inside of my proposal, I'll have testimonials from people that I'm working with or that I've been able to help. So I know we talked a little bit about sales psychology, and just, I was having a conversation, I believe yesterday or day before yesterday, some more about sales psychology and the idea of knowing that you are a salesman or a saleswoman. And I was talking to a business partner of mine, and I was saying, could you imagine if someone made you believe, and this is more or less going to be for the women on the Zoom listening. Could you imagine having 3 children, 2 or 3 children or more, and they're in their teenage years maybe right now, and for all of these years, somebody has psyched you out to believe that you're not really a mother. You're just kind of a babysitter on steroids, right? You're not really their mom. You're just taking care of them. You just, how a babysitter will come by and watch the kids, but you're kind of a babysitter on steroids. So you're kind of there all the time, but you're not really a mother. So you really don't have to deal with mother stuff. Just, just be a babysitter, like until they turn 18 years old. And you did that. And at the end of the day, what happens is you're never going to be the best mother you can be if you don't actually ever admit that you're a mom, that you're being a mother. And this is what it means to me when I hear, because it almost like makes me cringe. And I did this myself years ago, so don't get me wrong. Years ago, when I used to train people, I used to tell people, hey, you're not selling, you're sharing. You're not selling, you're sharing. And that was the easy way of getting people who were scared of sales to start selling, because you kind of rub them and tell them that you're not really sharing, but what you're really doing is lying to them. So when it comes to saying, hey, look, I'm not sharing, I'm selling. Well, if you're only sharing information, at what point do you close? At what point do you close? So give you another example. So men, could you imagine being at some convention or some program somewhere, and you were sitting in a room full of people, and one of your friends were sitting next to you, or somebody that you didn't even know was sitting next to you at this event, and you heard that person's stomach growling? And that person's stomach was growling because they missed breakfast this morning because the convention started at 7:30 and they didn't get a chance to get up and do everything they needed to do. So they just went ahead and skipped breakfast and said, hey, I'll hold out until lunch. Lunchtime, I'll go grab something to eat. Now here it is, 10 o'clock, their stomach is growling, but you've got a backpack with you. You're prepared. You've got food in your backpack, some snacks, some chips, maybe some healthy items, whatever it is that you carry in your backpack. You hear that person's stomach growling, and then you give them some snacks. Right? You share some snacks with that person next to you, whether you know them or not. And that person eats and they tell you, thanks, man, I appreciate that, whatever the case may be. And then when you guys get up to go to lunch, right? When y'all come back to the table, you've got an invoice next to you for that person saying, hey, look, you owe me $7.99 because I gave you some of my snacks. If you would do that, put yes. If you wouldn't do that, put no. If that's just ridiculous, then just laugh, right? Nobody would do that because you took the opportunity to share with that person. So the reason why I'm saying that to you is because when you're sharing, at what point when you're sharing, do you ask a person for their payment information? At what point when you're sharing information, do you go for the close? Most of the time you won't, which is why you see so many people talking about, oh, I'm just sharing information, but you can't never sell a membership. You can't never get a new client in your, as a fitness trainer. You can't get more houses sold because all you're doing is sharing the opportunity of, I'm showing somebody a bunch of houses, but I never closed that person. I'm showing 5 properties a day as a realtor, right? They walk away feeling good because they look at these 5 houses, but then they end up buying a house from another realtor because you didn't close them. So sharing, be very careful when you say I'm sharing information. I get the idea. I get the theoretical idea. The problem with that is, right, when you allow people to make believe, it becomes their reality. So and let me use a joking scenario, because this was a joke, but as a joke, get my phone on mute. As a joke, you can look at this in a serious manner. So I remember there's a stand-up comedian that made this joke. It was Kevin Hart, and Kevin Hart talked about how his son got into an altercation in school, and the other kid beat him up. And when the kid beat him up, and he asked his son, "Well, why didn't you fight back?" And he said to his father, Kevin Hart, "I tried to web him, right, like Spider-Man. Like I tried to web him, but my web wouldn't work." And of course, obviously, Kevin Hart made that as a joke. But the serious side of that, in relation to what I'm telling you guys about sales, is the reason why his son tried to web the kid is because he made his son think he was Spider-Man, but he never actually told him that he wasn't. So in all reality, the kid was believing that he really was Spider-Man and that he could web somebody instead of actually fight back, because he allowed that imaginary scenario that he was creating for his son to become his reality. And you may understand that you're doing sales, and you may be telling people that you're working with, hey, look, you're just sharing. Don't worry about it. Don't be scared. Don't be nervous. You're just sharing information. Don't make yourself feel like you have to sell people. And you tell them that, but then you never actually tell them that they're in sales. So they just continue to share information, but they never close anybody. Which leads to a real salesman or saleswoman, or a person that knows that they are a salesman or a saleswoman, to come behind that person and close them in less exposures than it normally takes, because your associate or your trainee or whoever this person is in your business, this realtor that works in your office, believes that all they have to do is share information and people are going to magically sign on a dotted line. Guys, every now and then that'll happen, but that is not a normal thing. You can't go around sprinkling dust on people and think that they're going to just buy from you. You have to have a sales technique. You have to understand who you're talking to. You have to know what their personality is. You have to know what kind of material and information to put in their face based on their personality. And you have to have a way to close people. If you don't, then the amount of people that you close, it will certainly not be 30% of your deals. And the less percentage of people that you close, the more work you have to do to get your numbers up, right? So it's the old saying, like Jim Rohn said. So how do you write somebody who's a better presenter than you? You got to do more work than they do. If they close 3 people when they talk to 10, and you only close 1 when you talk to 10, my God, you got to talk to 30 people when they only talking to 10. So you have to ask yourself, do I want to share information, right, instead of sell? Do I want to share and have to do 3 times more to work? Yes or yes? That makes sense to you guys? Just put yes in the box, right? So do you want to do 300% more work because you're telling yourself, hey, I'm sharing, I'm being a nice guy or a nice woman, or I don't want a person to feel pressure. You can sell somebody something without them feeling pressured. If you feel like you're pressuring a person when you're selling something to them, it's because you don't believe in your product or service. That's what that means. Because why are you so excited to tell somebody to go see a movie that you saw? Why are you so excited to tell somebody to go buy a pair of sneakers that you bought that worked really well? Why do you have an outfit that you work out in that makes you very comfortable, and you tell your other women friends, hey, you should buy this because I bought this, and when I'm doing my yoga or I'm doing my fitness training, I really feel good. Why do you market that at no commission, right? Because you believe in it. You believe in it. You don't feel pressured. You don't feel like you're making them spend money. Why? Because you're not receiving something on the other end, and because you believe in the product or you believe in the service. You know how many people I've told to join LA Fitness because that's the gym I go to and I enjoy working out there? I don't have an affiliate link for LA Fitness. I tell people to go there because I think the experience is good. I don't feel pressured when I do it, and I'm not sharing information. I'm kind of selling them on LA Fitness, really, when I don't even get paid to do so. You guys follow that? So you have to look at a couple things when it comes to sales and ask yourself, why am I not selling? Why am I telling myself that I don't want to sell this? Is it because I don't believe in it? Is it because I had a very bad experience and I believe that somebody that I sell it to is going to have a bad experience? Am I in the industry that I got into because I went to college for this, got a degree or learned a trade, but now 15, 20 years later, depending on your age, you no longer believe in that anymore, or that's not your passion, and now you're not selling anymore? You have to ask yourself that question, because all those things are determining factors on how far you go in that field. So looking at bullet point number 4, identify with the numbers, learn how to play that marbles game, and just don't make it emotional when you're making that sale, right? So we talked about that in the process of going through this series, right? Because we're on part 5. Go for No, reading that book, all things that'll help you benefit as a marketing and sales person, is to be able to say, hey, I'm going for no. Change your psyche, mindset. That's why I love this book so much, because it's all about mindset. It's about you changing the idea that no means something bad, right? No would mean something bad if somebody said, oh, do you plan on going to jail ever? No, of course I don't. right? Married people who love their spouse, who never want to, who would never want to go through a divorce, who are happily married. Do you want to get divorced? No, of course you don't. Do you want something to happen to your kids? Of course you don't. So how come in your mind you can put the no as positive when you're talking about those things, but you can't put the no as positive as, hey, look, I've got this many people that are going to be coming across my desk, right? 10 people, 20 people, 30 people, 50 people, and I know that 70% on average are going to tell me no. The no isn't bad because the no is in the numbers, right? The no is in the numbers. That's part of the recipe. So when you go to bake a cake or make cupcakes or make your favorite meal that you make, you can't leave something out the recipe. If you take something out the recipe, then the food doesn't taste right. If you take the no's out the recipe, that's the recipe for success. Hearing no is part of the recipe. So if you take the no's out of the recipe, you won't land on success. So if you're saying to myself, I haven't hit success yet in my business, are you afraid to add the no? You keep baking that success cake and you keep leaving the no's in the package in the cupboard because you don't want to go in there, pull it out, measure it, and throw it inside of the mixer when you're making the cake. Does that make sense? So you got to remember, you got to take the whole recipe if you want it to taste how it's being advertised. In the taste of success, there is an ingredient called no. And if you're not willing to deal with that ingredient, then you're not going to make the cake that you're looking to make. The success cake, right? So we talked about the personality traits, which we're going to go into today. Of course, we're going to do dolphin and whale today. We're going to leave shark and urchin for next Wednesday's training. Mindset again. Brian Carruthers, 2 books. Pick those books up. They're very inexpensive to pick up. You can do audio or you can do hard copy with those books. The portion is in a follow-up. We talked about that. You got to follow up on your clients as you move forward with transitioning them, because it takes 5 to 7 exposures to get people to say yes. It takes 8 cold calls to reach a prospect, right? So 8 cold calls, guys, to reach a prospect, just to reach them, not to close them, just to reach them. 8 calls. How many of you guys are giving up on 4, 5, and 6? Diversifying your techniques, walking the community or cold calling, joining groups, speaking engagements and workshops, having an email campaign, a mailing list, using ClickFunnels, using social media, collaborating with other people who are in the same industry, but they offer a different product or service, and you guys can walk together. All ways that you can use, all things you can do to diversify your sales technique. And remember to put your deal on paper, because it's very difficult to close a deal if you don't put it on paper. So I was having a conversation with somebody that I believe is probably on a training tonight, and we were talking about that today. Hey, send a person to your website and get them enrolled. Hey, I want to be a new client for your fitness program that you're doing, right? 90-day challenge, right? You have to fill out some paperwork, get yourself started, make your first installment payment. We're gonna get you rolling. Okay, great. When I go home, I'm gonna get in front of my computer and I'm gonna do that. Nothing on paper. Now, you can trust that person to go and do that if you want to, or you can put it on paper. You can say, you know what, let's get everything filled out while you're here, have this done for you in 10 or 15 minutes, and I'll get everything processed. So when I was talking to one of my business partners today, and we were talking about enrolling somebody into a plan, and they were like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and email them an application, and when I email them the application, they can fill it out and email it back to us, and we'll get everything rolling. And I was like, nah, it's probably better to call them on the phone and then enter their information on the paper application, and then go ahead and submit that electronically. That way you've got control of your business. So you want to put the deal on paper because you want to have control of the deal, right? And then we talked about, are you being trained as a person that's training other people, as a person that's leading other people, as a person that's recruiting other people, as a person that's hiring other people? Are you being trained in your industry? Are you leeching on to information that can help you get better at what you do? Do you have a coach to help you in areas that you need help in? So today we're going to talk about understanding the dolphin, identifying yourself, and selling to the dolphin. And then we're going to talk about understanding the whale, identifying yourself, and then selling to the whale. And these are very important as you move forward. So I got to check and see if I got some hands up too here in a second. So Gillian Flynn it's very difficult. It's very difficult era in which to be a person, just a real actual person instead of a collection of personality traits selected from endless automat of characters. Why did I use that this quote? I use that quote because what I want you guys to understand is, even though we're talking about personalities and fish, and some people will talk about colors, and people have all kind of ways to distinguish the difference between the traits. I don't want you to look at people as a personality trait. I want you to look at them as a person, but I want you to understand how to deal with that person. Because remember, when I'm showing you guys here on business sales, you can actually take this home. You can use this on your kids. You can use this on your spouse so that you have a better relationship with your family. So this is not just how you sell to a person. This is you understanding your personality traits and how you can deal with people where the relationship gets better because you know what to say to them, what not to say to them. But you don't ever want to identify people as a personality trait. Another conversation I was having with somebody today was, I was having a conversation with somebody, and they asked me about my sign, and I told them that I was a Gemini. And they was like, oh, Gemini. And it's funny because everybody says that. I'm a Gemini. Everybody always makes like this weird sign when you say Gemini, like that's the worst sign ever. And then they think that the sign that they have is the best sign in the world, right? But they identify you by that sign. There are literally people who will not date somebody because of their sign. They won't even get a chance to meet the person and know the person. Like if they find out that they're a Taurus or a Libra or a Gemini or a Cancer or whatever it is that their sign tells them that they don't get along with well, instead of them saying, you know what, let me see if, because this person could be a Gemini or a Taurus or a Cancer, but that don't mean that they're all Cancer. That don't mean every single thing that it says about that person's sign is true. So instead of them giving that person a chance by meeting them, understanding them, going on a date with them, becoming friends with them, whatever it is, whatever kind of relationship they're trying to build, they will say, hey, this person is a Cancer and I've dealt with a Cancer before and it doesn't work, so I'm not going to go there. Well, guess what, guys? Personal development changes people's bad characteristics. If you understand what I mean by that, say yes or yes. So you can take a person who their sign may be, okay, this is what they do good, this is what they do bad. But if that person that normally does those things bad is into personal development, they may have changed that characteristic within themselves and not be that person that do those bad things. So you got to be very careful when you start to look at a person by a personality trait or a sign and just assume that because that person is a Gemini, Taurus, Aries, Cancer, whatever they may be, that they are going to exhibit all of those characteristics. That's why it's important to engage with people, to listen to people, to talk to people, to get to know people. Because when you're dealing with people, you can't always, everything is not black and white. And I don't mean race by that. I mean, like, it's not just the two ends of the spectrum that we're dealing with here. We're dealing with people, and people change, right? So you may look at a sign and say, okay, this person's sign says that they're that. So let's look at the positive side of that. So let's just say that Bob Frazier, right, met somebody, right? Or Bob Frazier was going to do business with Clarence. And Bob Frazier says, man, I hate doing business with Cancers, man, because, you know, they're hard to deal with because of this. Or on the positive side says, you know what, I like doing business with Cancers because I get along with them because they do this, that, and the other. Well, what happens if Clarence has schizophrenia or bipolar or OCD or some other mental illness that he now has characteristics that have nothing to do with him being a Cancer, but he's now exhibiting other mental illness specifics in his character? Does that make sense to you guys? Don't assume that it's going to be a great relationship with a person because you don't know what else is going on in their mind to make them not act normal. The same way a person that may have negative characteristics, generally speaking, because of their sign, that person may practice personal development and have corrected some of those things. So you will see when we're talking about personality trait like a dolphin, you will hear me say things like can sometimes be lazy, right? It's like I got on my notepad here, right? Can sometimes be lazy and motiveless, right? Meaning that they don't motivate well. Well, typically speaking, that might be a dolphin. That might be what the characteristics read on a dolphin. But that might be, what if this is a dolphin who's done personal development that says, you know what, I don't like not being able to self-motivate myself. So I'm going to start reading some books to do so. I don't like to feel lazy and feel unaccomplished. So let me read some books to do so. So now this same dolphin who would normally exhibit the characteristics of being lazy sometimes, right, on the downside, and being a person that is motiveless, they're now just the opposite because they realized those characteristics were a part of their personality traits, and they read some books and they did some personal development to better those things. So that's why you have to not only look at a sign. A sign is a benchmark. It is not, you can't generalize with that. But it will put you in the right perspective when you're dealing with people. So that's why I thought it was important to have that quote up there so that you guys will understand that once you learn these things, there's an art to everything that you do. There's an art to everything that you learn. So I want you to understand that you do need to then say, okay, these are some things that I can do differently. So personality traits, right? So dolphins typically love to have fun. Sharks typically love to make money. Whales typically help people. And urchins typically like details and like facts. So let me look at, see if we got some hand raising going on here. Any hand raising going on? Who do we have that is a dolphin that is willing to open up their camera and have a conversation here? Any dolphins? Some of y'all might don't even know y'all dolphins. Put your hand up if that's the case. And if you don't know how to put your hand up, just open up your camera. All right. Clarence, we got Clarence and we got Norris, right? Both Clarence and Norris. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with you, Clarence. And if you still want to do something, Norris, let me know. Put your hand up or whatever, and then I'll call on you next. So Clarence, are you unmuted? Oh no, let me unmute you.
Okay.
There you go, brother. How you?
Great. And yourself?
Oh man, I'm doing excellent. I'm doing excellent. Let me see if I can make this a different, like make this gallery a little.
I got a pinched nerve. You gotta bear with me. Oh, my bad. I got a pinched nerve, so it's kind of, you know, trying to write notes at the same time. So
yeah, I'm trying to do this gallery view. If I kill your camera right now, guys, you can put it back up here in a minute. I just want to clear the format so that it's just showing me and Mr. Clarence here just for 1 second. So just bear with me, guys. Just bear with me. Okay, I think this is the best I'm gonna be able to do right here. All right, so
yeah.
let's look at a couple of things here. Oops, sorry about that, guys. I was somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
All right, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this slideshow real quick.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop this slideshow so we can make this a little bit bigger.
Technology. Okay, sir.
Right.
Looking in the camera. Oh, okay.
See the camera?
Yeah, I see the camera. I'm just, it's sideways according to me. Yeah, but I can see it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can see you good. We good. I got you.
Okay.
I got you here.
All right.
All right. So let's do a little bit of I guess we can call it role playing. So as a dolphin, let me read a couple of things off to you guys first about a dolphin. So a dolphin is generally spontaneous, recreational. They like to do a lot of different activities. They love having fun. Dolphins are normally the life of the party. So if I'm reading it, and if this is you, if you're a dolphin, as I'm reading these things off about dolphins, just go in the chat box and just put that's you. Like, because I want you to identify yourself, guys, in these, because the best way for you to identify that prospect that's a dolphin is for you to at least know what fish you are. You need to know what fish you are, because once you know what fish you are and what you're mixed with, you'll have an idea on how to deal with that person and better understand yourself. They're normally the center of the party. They're typically late and unorganized, right? They're socially loved, fun, and outgoing. And again, everything I say about this is not going to be every person, right? These are just some characteristics of a person that has the strength of a dolphin as a personality trait. They're high energy and they love attention. They're normally extroverted. They can be lazy sometimes and motiveless. They're least prepared fish, and sometimes they have money problems, right? They enjoy life and what life offers. That is typically what a dolphin is, and the color for a dolphin would be blue.
Blue? Isn't that some?
Yeah.
Wow.
So the color for dolphin would be blue. So
that's
we're talking about these things, right, guys? So let's say that I'm talking to Clarence about network marketing, for instance. Let's use network marketing, right? Because characteristics are very important there because you're recruiting people and you're working with people. So I'm sitting down to have coffee with Clarence, and the first thing I want to do is I want to find out, guys, but what fish this person is, because this is going to be determining on how I move forward with working with this person. So I may say this about my own personal self. So I may say, I may be talking to a client and say, hey man, it's good to sit down and actually meet with you. I'm really a belly to belly person. So I like to sit down and shake hands with a person and really understand, who I'm dealing with. So like me personally, like when it comes to like personalities and things like that, I'm kind of a well, I really love to help people. Like I used to think everything was about money for me, and I realized later on that I really enjoy helping people. So what I enjoy about being in a network marketing company is not only can I create some form of income, but I can help so many people make income. So now I'm in a position as a network marketer where I can make money, but I'm helping more people than I'm really helping myself. Because if I can help 10 people reach a success level that they wanted, and then I reach my success level, I help 10 to 1. And I really like to help people more than I like to help myself typically. So I'm a whale. Like, have you ever looked at what kind of personality you have? And then Clarence talks back, and Clarence, like, he responds to that question. So if I was asking you that, Clarence, so like, what do you have any idea what personality traits you are, or have you ever looked at the 4 fish and like, what do you like? Do you like detailed information? Do you like the money? Do you like to have fun? Do you like to help people? Kind of where are you at on that? I'm really asking you that.
I like to. Oh, you really asking me that?
Yeah, I'm really asking
you. Okay. I like to have fun.
You like to have fun?
I like to have fun.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I like to have fun. Yep.
So when you like to have fun, are you like spontaneous with it? Is it like you really like, are you like the party goer? You like the life of the party when you go places? Like, is that kind of how you are?
Yeah, you explained my life really, to be honest with you. That's exactly.
Good, good. No, that's good. It's
exactly.
Good. So, one thing I'm gonna do for sure is as we move forward and talk about doing business together, I'm gonna introduce you to some other people in the company who really love to have fun, because we got some other people in the company that's like they straight up party goers, and I want you to have a relationship with those people as well. So we do have a lot of events that we do. We have conventions that we do. We have different functions where you can go and kind of enjoy yourself. And maybe if we're going to be out of town for 4 days for a 3-day convention, you can look at doing some sightseeing while you're out there, look at some other events. A lot of times they'll have other things that happen in that city in the brochure for where we're going and doing what we're doing, so that way you can kind of have some fun and do those things as well. And then we also have like a meeting after the meeting. So once a week we go have like a prospect meeting where you invite people out, you let them see the information. Well, after we finish doing that work, that business part of it, we like to go to a restaurant and kind of just chop it up, talk, kick it over food. Now everybody kind of let their hair down, they relax, and they whatever, right? So guys, why am I doing this? I'm having this conversation with Clarence about this stuff as opposed to talking about the compensation plan, because the compensation plan is going to be for the shark and for the urchin. Why? Because the shark likes money, and because the urchin likes details.
Gotcha.
The dolphin don't really care about the compensation plan.
Wants to help people here.
Yeah, it's not that important. Now, are they going to ask about it because they're in the business and it's going to cost them to get involved? Yes, you're going to mention the compensation plan, but that is certainly not the first conversation that they're going to have. And if they do want to know, they will ask you that question during that conversation, right? So you want to make sure you do that. So now let's take this down to a level where Clarence is buying a membership from you. Right? Because everything is not about recruiting. Like, you could be selling you could be selling a membership, you could be doing anything. So if I was selling a membership and it was a Legal Shield membership, and I knew that Clarence was a Dolphin, let me tell you how I would approach that. The details of the membership, I wouldn't go over too much in depth. You know why? Because he's not an urchin, so the details aren't going to be that important. So watch how I spin this. I'm having a conversation with Clarence about the membership, and I say, look, I know we talked about the membership before and the need for it, and of course, you know, in this current climate, you know, we see it's a lot of legal things happening. You want to be able to ask attorneys about questions about things, you know, about being laid off, whether your gym could be charging your card when they're not open, and all these things happen. We got coronavirus going on, we got race relation stuff going on. There's all kind of situations happening to people. So having a plan like this makes a lot of sense. But let me tell you something else that I thought was the key thing. About 5 or 6 years ago, this company being almost 50 years, just 5 or 6 years ago, they literally started a program where we have perks. So all of our members actually can take advantage of getting discounts with over 450 companies because they have our membership. It doesn't matter what plan they get. The legal plan, the identity theft plan, a business plan, a plan for you as a CDL driver, it doesn't matter. You can get those perks. And let me tell you why I like those perks. Because if I want to go out of town and hang out and have a good time, I know I'm gonna spend some money having a good time. I would really love to be able to get a discount on my hotel. If I'm saying, hey, look, I'm gonna be out and about, I'm flying somewhere, I'm gonna need a vehicle to move around, because when I go out, I don't want to go sit in a hotel out of town. I want to be able to get in the car, go drive around, view the city. Guess what? I can get a rental car at a discount through the Legal Shield membership perks. Right? I love to go to look, if you love to buy season tickets for the football team, hockey team, basketball team in your area, we give discounts on things like that as well. Disney World discounts. So really, there's a lot of fun things you can do and get discounts through there. You guys follow what I'm saying? Yes or yes? Right? So why am I doing it? I'm catering my presentation to this person's personality. And why am I doing that? Because in order to sell somebody something with them, what is in it for me? What is going to excite Clarence is going to be the things that are fun. Does that make sense? This is why I'm going to do that with Clarence. So that's how I would do that if I was recruiting you into network marketing, if I was selling you a Legal Shield membership. That would be my approach, because I know that that's your personality. And see, I got you hooked there because I'm talking your language, right? So for those that never read the 5 love languages, I'm gonna give you guys a hit on that. Read that book, 5 Love Languages. If you having any issues in your relationship, you will fix them with that book. If you having any issues with your kids, they got 5 love languages for your kids, 5 love languages for your relationship, for marriage, and for girlfriend boyfriend relationships. If it's same-sex relationships, I'm sure the information there you can take out there and make it for same sex, because it doesn't matter what sex you are. It's just telling you how to understand that. Don't project your love language on other people, because that may not be their love language. So if you're a gift giver, right, you love to give gifts to people. Sometimes people will give you gifts back thinking that that's your love language. And it's like, no, I don't like receiving gifts. I just like giving gifts. I actually like for you to tell me that I look nice today. I actually like for you to tell me that you love me. So words may be my love language, but I may love to gift to other people. You guys follow that? Yes or yes? So it's the same way with this. If you're a dolphin, right, you can't assume everybody else is a dolphin. That's not how that works. You don't project your dolphinness, right, on everybody else and assume that's everybody's personality trait. You got to talk to that person where they're at. Meet a person where they're at when you're doing your sales. Good stuff. So I appreciate that, Mr. Clarence. If you can go ahead and unmute yourself, Mr. Anthony Norris, that'd be fantastic.
Okay, I'm unmuted to do this. I'm unmuted.
All right, brother. How are you?
Fantastic, sir. Good
job. Good. Well, good to see you on the training, brother. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Can you see me okay?
No, I can't see you at all, actually. I see your name popping up, but I don't see you like through your camera.
Yeah, it says says you cannot start your video because the host has disabled it.
Oh, is that what's going on? Well, how about that? How about I fix that for you, brother? Hey, man, you know, tell you, man. I tell you, this is one of those things I'm still trying to get figured out. Give me 1 second. So let me see. Where's the video at? Play sound, participate, mute participants upon entry, allow participants to unmute themselves. They can do that. But I don't have where you can do your camera. So let me see what I did here. Because I think I hit something. I think I did that by mistake. Where are you at? Okay, here you go. See if you can do it now. Oh, there you go, brother.
All right.
All right. Good stuff.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's look at something different with you. Let's look at the same, obviously the same character, the same trait, which would be Dolphin. Still talking about Dolphin. Go ahead.
I'm a whale.
You're a whale?
Ah.
Okay, well, go. Okay, well, let's go to whale then. Let's do whale because you're whale. So let's talk about whale since that's actually your personality trait. And let me read you guys off some things on whale so that you guys understand what a whale. So with a whale, the yellow is typically the color is typically yellow, and whales just want to help. I'm a whale too myself, right? They typically just want to help. So they have ability to make a difference, right? They're normally an agent for change. They kind of they got the save the world mentality. They want to help people. They're compassionate and they love giving joy to other people. Whales are typically really good caregivers because they like to take care of people. They volunteer for everything. They do whatever it takes to get the job done because they are concerned about the well-being of others. They will typically put the needs of others before their own. They're outgoing, extroverted, likable, social, nurturing, and someone that people normally like to have around. That is the mindset of a whale. That's the mindset of a whale. So are those true for you, Mr. Norris?
Actually, yeah. Yes, I like that. Yes, that's me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm a personal trainer. I'm starting a personal training company. I want personal trainers to work for me to train the customers that I'm bringing on board. I sit down with Mr. Norris and I tell him, so in this example, I'm not going to be a whale like I was in the last example. I'm going to be a shark. So, but I'm talking to Anthony Norris about bringing him into my company as a personal trainer so that he can work with the clients that we have coming on board. Yes, you guys follow that? So I'm having this conversation over a cup of coffee and I say, look, man, one thing I love is being able to gauge who I'm dealing with my clients. I have a good relationship with my clients because I understand their personality traits. I always look into those things. Like me personally, I'm a shark, which is why I ended up starting a personal training company because I used to work for LA Fitness and I just felt like I wasn't being paid enough. So I felt like I wasn't making enough money. My clients were paying $270 a month. They was giving me about $65 of that. And I felt like, you know what? I could do more for my clients if they were just my clients and it wasn't a middleman in between what they pay and what I get paid. So I went on ahead and started my own company because I really like to have my own boss. I'm really the kind of person I'm aggressive about making money. I believe in being self-employed, to be an entrepreneur. So I thought it was the best idea for me to go ahead and start my own company. So that's kind of how I got here. So are you familiar with your own personality and your personality traits? Like what do you consider yourself to be?
On the answer to that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. My personality is I'm outgoing. I'm a people person. I love helping people. Love seeing people win. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Yeah, I think I'm a team player. That's the number one thing. Love seeing people win. Helping them out with that.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, now guys, follow this. I am now going to try to get him to join my company because he is now letting me know he's a whale. And who do I want working in my personal training company as a personal trainer than a person who wants to see the client have the best experience possible. You got to know who you're working with. So now I'm saying, you know what, that's really great, because it sounds like to me you kind of like a well, and that's really kind of what I'm looking for. So, and the reason why is because of the things that you just said. You really like to see people win. You're a save the world kind of person. So I get a client that comes in here that says, look, I'm tired. I weigh 300 pounds and I want to actually be 190. I know I can lose the weight because I've lost weight before. And if I could lose the 110 pounds, my entire life, my marriage would change, my relationship with my kids would change. I wouldn't feel bad about going to events that happen, big events that happen in our family. I wouldn't not like going to my family reunion. And what I need a personal trainer who's committed to helping that person's life change. And this is what I like about Wells, is that you really see value. And you really will you will make that your agenda for that customer to leave happy. And those are really the kind of personal trainers that I'm looking to have. And I see that you certified to do all the things that we do here. I saw your resume. I saw your referrals. The other companies that you work for said that you were great. And the things that they're saying about you in a review are typically the things that I know that a will does. So it just so happens that you happen to be a will, and that's really kind of what I'm looking for. Because I want my clients to have the best experience. And really, selfishly, I want my client to be put before the guy that's helping them. I want that trainer to say, I want the client to come first. That's the kind of experience I want in my training company. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So guys, on the personal training side, right, if I'm doing that, this is what I'm doing. You always have to look at that person's personal traits, ask them that question in the beginning, tell them what you are, right? And then ask them what they think they are, or what their personality traits are. And then from there, you know how to sell them on the opportunity to work with you as a personal trainer, the opportunity to work for your company as a real estate agent, the opportunity to buy a house from you if you're selling a house to this person, the opportunity to sell a product to them if that's what you're selling, to recruit them into your network marketing company if that's what you're doing. But you've got to understand their personality traits. Now, you can go about this and not know any of those things. Right? So how many people right now can put in the chat box that they literally right now understand people's personalities when they're selling them something? If you do, just put me in the chat box. If you're currently doing that when you're talking to people. I got two people. So I'm telling you guys, if you want to up your sales game, those are the things that you have to do. You have to know your prospect. You got to know who you're talking to at all times, because if you don't know who you're talking to, then you're saying the wrong thing to them. If a person wants details and you don't give them details, then you lose them. If the person doesn't want details and you're giving them details, right? You're saying, hey, take all this information, right? You're filling up. You giving them a folder full of information, or you sending them 10 emails to get started. And it's like, they don't want all that stuff. It's like, no, I'm not looking for all of that kind of stuff. I don't need that. I don't want to do no investigative work. So when we talk about sharks and urchins, you're going to see where when it comes to sharks and urchins, like sharks are like, show me the money. Show me the money, I'll figure the details out. The urchin is like, I ain't making no decision unless I can investigate the company. I want to investigate you. They're going to Google you. And like some of you all have said that. Oh, I was talking to this person. They decided they was going to Google me, and you all offensive about it. Don't be offensive. They're urchin, and that's what urchins do. They're not Googling you because they some I spy or some investigative person that think that they can't trust you. They want information, and they're investigative people. They're not investigating you because they don't trust you. They're just investigative people. You guys follow that? So that's what you want to look at. You definitely want to look at it. So I see you're still asking, is there something on YouTube? You could probably find some things on YouTube on this. Yes, I would imagine. I would be willing to bet some money that you can, and I would be willing to bet some money that you can find a book on it as well, on personality traits and how to look at them. And it depends on what you will look at it as. Like you got some people use colors, some people use fish. They have all kind of different terms that they use Some people use dominant and, you know, different things like that, different verbal terminology. So it depends on which one you like. I like using the 4 fish, but people use different ones. So don't just look it up by the 4 fish, look it up by different things. So again, guys, looking at these personality traits, this is why these things are important for you to understand, because you want to know who you're dealing with, you want to know how to deal with that person, and where you should go, and understand that they could be mixed. Understand that Anthony Norris could be primarily a whale, but he could still be a person that wants to make money. So he could be a whale with shark tendencies, right? And he'll still have some sea urchin and some dolphin in him, because most of us have all 4 in us. But we have one that is really dominant. And that dominant one is the one that you want to speak to. So just keep in mind, like, it's just, guys, this is sales 101 when you're dealing with people. Everybody's different, and you have to understand people. This is why I keep saying sales is psychology. If you don't understand people, you're gonna find yourself in a bad situation trying to sell to people when you don't really understand people as a whole. Especially if you're building an empire and you're saying, I'm bringing on realtors, I'm bringing on personal trainers, or I'm recruiting in a network marketing company. Because when you're dealing with the people that you bring in, I'm in network marketing, so I'm in network marketing. When I recruit people, I've got to know their personality. I've got to know if I recruit a woman that's a dolphin, to put her in LOJ. I got to put her in Ladies of Justice, because that's going to suit her personality, because Ladies of Justice are women with a purpose, but they love to have fun. They're doing the socials and the wine and cheese and all those kind of things. And those women get together and they have their own little functions at the conventions where they get together, and it's all women. And they're doing the woman power and the woman rah-rah and the woman things together as that gender. And that woman wants to be a part of that a lot of times. So you want that dolphin woman to be plugged into LOJ. If you've got a woman that's a shark, and you meet her and she's a shark, so what are you going to do? You're going to introduce her, and you're going to say, okay, look, I understand you're a shark, and you really want to be able to create some income. So let me show you the fastest way to make money in network marketing, and the fastest way to make money in business solutions. So in business solutions, we got a bonus program that if you open up a group that's got $100 in premium, you get a $200 bonus. And if you add a field trainer, it'll double. If you get $250 in premium, it'll be a $300 bonus, and they'll double if you add a field trainer. So you can get bonus money that'll double, and you can keep doing it over and over and over again until September 30th. We also have something called Builder Bonus on the network marketing side, and you can earn 6 figures in just bonus money every quarter if you get at least 25 team members a month in your team. Whatever your premium adds up to, they'll pay that to you out a month. So I'm having this conversation about a bonus structure. Why am I talking about the bonus structure? Because they're a shark and they want money. They want success. They want attention. They want to walk the stage. That is what the shark is going to want. So I'm going to have that conversation with the shark. Right? So you have to understand that whale that's saying, hey, I really love to help people. Look, we've got a program that when you bring a person into the business, if you help them get to the first level in 20 days, they'll get a bonus. If you help them get to the next level within 45 days, they'll get another bonus. You can do this for everybody that you recruit. Now that person is thinking, I can help people make these bonuses. For the whale, that's a big deal. That's the conversation I'm having with the whale. So you have to know how to talk to these people, because there's a lot of things they can do, right? So it's like your church. If you go to church, if you don't go to church, you may miss this analogy, right? So I've got people that I know that, the church goers, that's like every time the church open up their doors, they're there. And they're like, my church is open, I'm going because I want to be in the presence of God. I understand that mindset. But I have that conversation first and say, you do know that when your church opens up every day, it's because different people in the church like different things? You know that they got services for teenagers on Monday. They got services for the seniors on Tuesday. They got counseling for married couples on Wednesday, right? They got premarital classes on Thursday. Why are you going to all that stuff? You're not premarital. You've been married for 17 years. Why are you going to that class? You guys follow what I'm saying? They're going to every class because the church is open. And Legal Shield, like any other network marketing company, right? Fitness, LA Fitness, like any other gym, right? That's that kind of gym. Real estate offices like Watson and Keller Williams and Prudential Realty and all these places, they all have programs. They all have different things that you can focus on when you enter into those fields. They've got so many different things because they know that people are diverse. You have to learn how to play Tetris with the people that you bring into the business. You have to know how to play Tetris with the people that you bring into the industry. If we have a bonus structure, you talk about bonus structures to sharks. If there's a program that we have that helps people, then you put people in that program to help people if they're a whale. If there's a program that people can have fun, you put dolphins in that program. That's what you introduce to them because they want what's with them. What's in it for me, guys? So I hope everybody's kind of clear on that and understands how you would work those deals out as you move forward. So what I'm gonna do is 10 o'clock. So I'm gonna open up so that you guys can get some questions in about and let's try to keep the questions to the 2 personality traits that we talked about today, because I don't want to give a whole bunch of information out on sharks and urchin because I want to save that for next week's training. And so I hope that's fair to everybody. So if you have any questions about dolphins and whales, go ahead and unmute yourself and let's get your questions answered on those different things. Oh, you gotta unmute yourself too as well. I'm sorry. I think you guys have the ability to unmute. Let me see. You should, but sometimes I don't know what I be doing with this thing, so let me check. Oh yeah, y'all can unmute yourselves. Okay. So if you got any questions, unmute yourself and you go ahead and ask your question. Going once.
Mr. Dunbar, it's Daryl.
Hey, Daryl Stanley, what's up, brother?
How you feeling?
I'm doing excellent.
I don't have a question, but I ran into something similar to what you're talking about last week when I was talking to a real estate agent, trying to talk to her about Legal Shield, and just like you were saying about she likes to do things to make her have fun. She was talking about when she retires, she wants to be able to take trips, take nice vacations. That's what she was talking about. So I can agree with what you were saying with that having fun.
Right. And see, in that circumstance, Daryl, as soon as I got that out of that realtor, I would have talked about nothing but the Performance Club program.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Right.
You tell me you like taking trips. Well, let me show you how to earn some free trips.
Mm-hmm.
Keep doing your real estate. Let me show you how to get in the Performance Club so that you can win the free trip. Because every year we go on the all expense paid trip, and you can even bring your significant other with you. That would have been the first focus on my conversation.
Okay.
Because that is them having fun. You follow? And that's the thing. Like for you, like for me, I can care less about trips. People know. People call me all the time and they be like, Dunbar, you going on a Performance Club trip? I'm like, I don't go to that stuff. I've been to a Performance Club trip in probably 7 years. And when I went, I didn't have that great of a time when I went. And it wasn't because they didn't do a good job. I had money on my room. It was a fantastic trip. I'm just not a vacationer. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's like, I don't push for the trips. That's why it's like, I don't ever really run for them like that. I'm normally focused on something else. I'll focus on bonus money. I'll focus on, I like to help people. That's why I'm a trainer. I'm a whale. Right. So like, I enjoy, like my coach has to constantly keep me from giving things away for free. Like, dude, like gotta beat me over the head. Like, dude, you can't keep giving people stuff. Like, dude, you train for a living. You gotta get paid for the stuff that you're doing. Because I will give stuff away because I just want to see people succeed. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of person I am. Like the last Performance Club trip I won, I actually put somebody on my agreement and let them go to the trip with one of their kids. I put them on the agreement and sent them. I'm like, 4 days. You know how much work I get done in 4 days? I'm not going on no trip for no 4 days. You crazy? You guys follow what I'm saying? Because it doesn't mean anything to me. Now, somebody that loves a trip, sell them on that. But if the person that introduced me to this company had to mention that to me, they would have lost me. Because I don't care nothing about no Performance Club trip. I don't care if it's free or not. So it's not a selling point for me because I'm a whale, but it would be a selling point for a dolphin. So if you meet that person, that's what I would do. So if I was you, Daryl, I would go back to that person that you tried to talk to. I would call. I would say, hey, look, you know what? I was sitting around looking at my notes, and I was thinking about the conversation we had. You was telling me how you really liked the vacation. You know what? I forgot to mention, and always apologize. Always apologize.
Okay.
You know what I forgot to mention? I'll apologize to you. We have a trip that we go to every year. And the trip that we go to every year is an all expense paid trip by you just doing really, it's not a whole bunch of work that you have to do. And with the customer base that you already have as a realtor, you can probably earn the trip based on selling to just your clients that you already got on the books. You guys follow me? So it's about turning that into that situation, and always go back and apologize. Always go back and apologize.
Awesome. Good
You know
stuff.
what I mean? So that's what I would do with that person, because again, you have to market to them what they want to hear. You can't sell them what's important to you. You got to sell them what's important to them. And that's part of being a salesman or a saleswoman. And that's why you shouldn't hurt your conscience to sell somebody something, because they're excited. Now you're selling her an opportunity to take a free trip, which she's probably paying to go on vacation every year.
Yep.
You see what I mean? And God forbid she end up in Team New Vision and down there on Tracy Sell, sending them on ring on trips every year. I didn't even go to the last one. You follow what I'm saying? Like the last Performance Club trip we did was in Mexico. Performance Club trip. The last ring on the trip we did was in Mexico, and I chose not to go because my daughter was pregnant and I wanted to go to New York and be with my daughter when she had the baby. You see what I mean? Because my personality is like helping people, and that was my daughter, and she was pregnant. I didn't want her to have the baby. Her mother couldn't go because her mother had just started a new job, and she wanted one of her parents there. Yeah. So I went on a trip, which really wasn't a sacrifice to me because I don't care anything about a trip. I was going to go because I play team, and that's a Team New Vision ring on the trip. So I was going to go. But when something else came up that was more important to my personality, that's what I chose to do. And I called Darnell Self and told him what I was doing. And he was okay with that. You follow that? Mm-hmm. So people are going to make decisions based on their personality, whether you like it or not. That's what people are going to do. So you've got to market to that, if that makes sense. Good stuff? All right. Anybody else? Unmute yourself if you got a question. Going once. Going twice. All right, fantastic. That means that y'all asleep or I did a good job.
Mr. Dunbar.
Hey, Mr. Neal, how you doing?
I'm sorry. I'm fine, sir. How are you?
I thought I was getting off easy tonight. I said, man, I'm shutting down. What time is it? 10:08? I said, I'm getting off easy tonight.
Oh, come on, sir. Come on. Great training, though. Great training. Thank you so much for this. I'm sorry. I'm in the car.
Oh, no,
I'm looking a little crazy, but what I wanted to know is what happens when you have a dolphin, what are we doing? Dolphin and what's the other one?
Whale.
Dolphin whale personality. So how do you approach that with the person? Because they may be telling you or giving you signals that they're a whale, but they're actually a dolphin. So how do you differentiate that?
Because they may have dolphin and whale in them. That might be 100% true. Like they may actually be both, but they're going to exude one more than the other. That's why, and that's an important question because I didn't identify this in the training, but that's an important question because it gives me a chance to clarify that now. Don't ever ask them what fish they are because they may not really know themselves.
Right.
Ask them about what they like, because once you understand the personality traits, you can determine what they are based on their answers. So you know how you go apply for a job. For anybody that applied for a job in the last maybe 5 or 10 years, I know some of y'all have been working at the same place forever, 5 or 10 years. When you go to apply for a job, they ask you a bunch of questions now. You got to answer, 60 questions in a certain amount of time or whatever. Well, those questions don't ever ask you who you are. They ask you 60 questions that helps that company understand who you are. What do you think those questions are? Those questions are the questions that help them identify your personality trait. That's exactly what they're doing with those questions.
Okay.
They ask you
so
those
they're
questions.
trying. Okay.
Go ahead. No,
so would you suggest doing the would you suggest doing that? Is it the Briggs-Myers personality test with your associates as well, so that you can find out exactly how to identify your associates, and then how to match them up with the different personality types. I know Legal Shield offered it a couple years ago, and it was a personality type where it wasn't based on the animals or the sea creatures. It wasn't based on the reds or anything like that. It was just whether or not you were analytical, if you were a critical thinker. I can't remember the name of the thing, but I know we call it DISC in corporate America.
Right.
So would you suggest something like that so that we can see what the different levels are as well? So we'll know who we're...
I would suggest that to do that as a team culture thing when you have a relationship with those people. So so I see like in the chat box, Nancy Wolf put that it was print, and that's what it was.
Oh,
print.
thank you, print. Yes.
Yeah, because I did it. I took the test, but I took the test not because Legal Shield offered it, but because Darnell Self asked us to take it as Team New Vision. But be careful not to ask people to do that kind of stuff that you don't have a relationship with your team. So you want to make that a team culture thing. So don't make it seem like you analyzing people, because then people don't like to be analyzed. Nobody likes to be like you to be like, like nobody wants to be a test. You know what I mean? You follow what I'm saying? So what I would do is if it was me doing that with my team, I would say, hey guys, look, I just did some training on personality traits, and it's really helping my business grow because I'm understanding my customers better, the people that I work with in the business better. And I would suggest you guys all do the same thing. So as a team, let's go ahead and take a personality test, because once you identify with who you are, now you'll know how to identify with who other people are. Now it'll help your business grow, help you with your associates and your customers. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Once you get your print number or your animal or your disc, because I'm familiar with disc as well, let's share that amongst each other and talk about it so that we understand that experience. That's how I would position that, so it's not like you running an organization and asking them to tell you what kind of person they are so that you don't know how to control them.
Right. Well, the reason I was asking that was because I figure if we know who we're dealing with in the organization and they're exchanging that information amongst each other, it would kind of help them also identify the prospects that they're talking to based on the personality types of the associates in the organization as well. So that's why I was asking if maybe that would be something that you would suggest for teams to do in order to understand the personality types based on what they're seeing in their own organization. Yeah, I
would.
Okay.
I would just suggest you doing it that way so that it doesn't seem like you're analyzing them. That's all.
Okay.
But I think it will help the growth in that organization if you do that. And I think it helps people, it creates better relationships in the organization, because now people know what to go to people with. They know who to ask to volunteer. It's nothing like asking for a volunteer in a room full of people who don't like to volunteer and everybody looking at you crazy because nobody will raise their hand first. If you know if you know that the whale is a volunteer type, and you know that these 5 or 6 people in your organization are whales, then you can pick up the phone and call. And I can pick up the phone and say, hey, Mr. Norris, I'm just giving you a call, man. We're having a team event next week, and I know you, man. I know you really like to help people. You like to help organize things. So if you don't mind, we're going to be getting together about 2 hours before the meeting and putting some things together. Would you like to be a part of that, or are you busy doing something else? I may be going to Anthony Norris with that, but I already know he's a whale and he likes to help people.
Okay.
So I'm increasing my chance of him saying yes. You see how that maximizes your time? So instead of me calling through 60 people in my organization to find a volunteer or texting a bunch of people, I can reach out to 10 people that I know are whales, and 6 of them say yes. That's the same way that will happen as you prospect people. That's the same way that'll happen as you're trying to transition a prospect into a client. So it's a time-saving thing as well, because now you spend less time in prospecting for whatever kind of prospecting you're doing when you understand people,
right?
And what their personality traits are, and what they like and what they don't like. Instead of assuming that people are bad people because they do things that you don't like. And also, instead of assuming that because a person's, right? So because that person's whale personality says all of these things, I'm going to assume that all of these things automatically fit. That's why you have a conversation with people.
Okay.
Because some people, every bit of whale is not going to be them. Right? So you see when I read this off, and then I said, Mr. Norris, is that you? He said, it's about right. because some of the things I said didn't fit his characteristics.
Okay.
Because
Awesome.
when you go to the military, when you go to boarding school, when you do personal development, some of those characteristics change. Some of those personality traits change because of what you've gone through. So they're not going to be spot on the same way. I'm a Gemini, right? So a lot of people will be like, oh, Gemini, oh my God, you moody, you funny acting. It's like, no, I do. I got more than one. I got more than two personalities, just so you know. I got more than two because I'm bipolar too. So I got more than two personalities.
My son is too, so
Right?
I can understand. My son is a Gemini too.
Yeah, so, but I know my personalities. And like, one of them is never me being a knucklehead. Like, I'm never a bad person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm never like this bad, like, wake up on the wrong side of the bed, get out of my face kind of person. I know Geminis that are like that. That's one of their personalities. And sometimes people run into a Gemini like that, and they just assume that when a person has got two personalities, that one of them is bad. And that's not always the case, because there's more than just a good and a bad personality. You know what I mean? So people they just assume that because they're going by my last experience with a Gemini, my last experience with a Cancer, or my last experience with a Taurus. That's why you have to get to know a person and know their moves, because that's like me, right? We all grown here. I'm gonna give you a funny example, right? And women, I ain't picking on y'all, but I don't date men, so I can only tell you about women, right? So women that have their time in the month, sometimes they cranky, they funny acting, right? That's like me saying every woman is a Gemini on that time of the month. No, I just know I just know to be nice to you. I just know when it's that time of the month to give you whatever you want. I know not to start no argument, that whatever you say that's what it is for that week. I just know how to deal with that. So you can deal with a person and know that they have those issues, but say, okay, now I know, right? So the same way you know your spouse and you may know certain things tick that person off, they don't like Sunday night because they don't like to go to work on Monday. You stay out their way. So it's about knowing the person and knowing how to deal with them. That's how you can build a successful organization or build a successful business or a successful employee base, by saying, I don't care what kind of person you are. I know how to deal with everybody, because I can look at who you are, know that that's a personality trait, and that doesn't make you a good or bad person, and know how to work with you so that you're happy in the space that we're in together. Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you for that explanation, sir.
And
Definitely
that's exactly
appreciate
how
you.
that works. No, absolutely. Good stuff.
Awesome.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any more questions? Going once.
Yep. Mr. Dunbar, this is Jerry Clement from Philadelphia. And the first time I practiced that, I actually asked my family, if I gave you $1 million, what would you do? My youngest said, I'm gonna have a big party. I'm gonna order all this food. I knew he liked to have a lot of fun. He's like a dolphin. My other son said, well, wait a minute now. Am I going to get all the money at one time, or can I split it up? But it was really, really interesting to see within my own family how the personalities were different, as far as a urchin, or a dolphin, somebody that likes to have fun, or a shark. And that's just a comment.
Hey, no, Jerry, but you know what though? That's genius. No, seriously, that's genius. That's so genius to get right to the point, to say to that person, hey, Linnell, if I gave you $100,000 or $1 million, what would you do with it? Guess what happens if Linnell said, you know what, I would probably give half of it to charity. What does that tell me? That she's a whale.
Yeah, that is good. Thank you.
You see what I mean? It's going to tell me that she's a whale, because like the person that says, well, am I going to split those payments? Are you going to give it to me? Can I take it, some part of it this year, some part of it next year? They not a shark, because a shark, like, give me all that money, right? I need it all right now in the day. I'm going to take the tax money out, give me the rest, because I got something I can do with that money. That's going to be the shark. You see what I mean? The person that says, you know what, man, I will go to Vegas and throw a big party. I will go buy a house in Vegas, and I'll be on the strip every night. What are they? They're a dolphin. So that's genius, to be able to ask that person a question, and by their answer, decide who you're dealing with and have fun with that, because now you know how to deal with that person from that point on. And that's the importance. It's knowing who you're dealing with and who to go to with what facts, instead of assuming, man, I don't talk about the Performance Club on my team call because people don't seem to be excited about that. Like there's something wrong with your team. It's not nothing wrong with your team. They're just not Dolphins. You see what I mean? It's like putting the wrong bait on the hook to catch a certain kind of fish. You throwing the bait in the water, you trying to catch one kind of fish, but you got a bait for another kind of fish, and you like, well, you know what? I must be fishing in the wrong water. No, you're using the wrong bait. That's what the problem is. You're in the right water using the wrong bait. So you have to ask yourself, when you're gardening and you're growing the wrong things in your garden, are you planting the wrong seeds, or are you planting the right seeds in the wrong soil? There's an art to everything you do, right? Are you selling your product to the wrong customer, or are you selling the wrong product? Are you better at selling services, or are you better at selling products? I'm a service person. I can't sell products. I shouldn't say I can't. That's not a good affirmation. But I'm not I don't do well at selling products. I can sell services all day long. I don't like to sell products. I like to sell services. You got to know that about yourself. You follow what I'm saying? You got to understand yourself and understand who you're marketing to, because there's an art to anything. There's an art to using a Legal Shield membership. There's an art to going to the gym and working out. I see people working on equipment. They like this. I'll do it 100 reps. And they like, 2 years later, you go to the gym, they look exactly the same. Right? And if you like, and they don't understand why they still look the same. They think it takes 10 years to change their body. And it's like, no, you're doing 1,000 reps, but you're doing them wrong. If you did 100 reps and did them right, you could have changed the way you look in 6 months. Right? Or they eat whatever they want, they go to the gym and get on a treadmill. I'm just gonna burn off on a treadmill. I know logically that makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. You can't eat whatever you want and just get on a treadmill and look the way you want. That's not the way that works. Looking the way you want to look starts in the kitchen, not in the gym. You don't get a six-pack in the gym, you get a six-pack in the kitchen. So you can go do all the sit-ups and stomach exercises and ab roller and do all that you want. So you know what you're gonna have? You're gonna have a set of abs under a layer of fat. Because you're eating the wrong stuff and you're hiding the muscle under the fat. Does that make sense? So it doesn't. So you got to understand there's an art to everything we do. There's an art to being married. There's an art to being in a long-term relationship. There's an art to being in network marketing. There's an art to doing everything. There's a way to do it, and then there's an art of doing it. So for anybody on this line that's in Legal Shield that uses the membership, you always know that. Think about when you first got the membership and you used it, and how you use it now. You got to know how to call that law firm, how to position the questions, and how to use that plan. If you don't know how to use that plan, you will think that it doesn't work right. There's an art to using that plan. There's an art to everything you do. So it's the same way here. You're prospecting, you're talking to people. Because people don't like to have fun, don't mean that it's the wrong people. It means that you don't understand what their traits are, so you're not talking to them about the right thing. I can't motivate my team because you're trying to motivate them the way you get motivated. And if you're a shark with a team full of dolphins, that's where you're going wrong, because you're talking to them like they're a team full of sharks, and you're not motivating them because you're talking about money, 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 money. We got to get this money, and they thinking like, I like that. When the fun stuff at? When this virus gonna be over with so we can go to a meeting after the meeting? Or I want to help some people. Like when we go into another convention, I like working the door at the convention. You talking to me about a bonus? I don't care about no bonus. I make 6 figures at my job. I don't want no money. You see what I mean? You're trying to motivate people with bonuses when that's not what motivates your people. You don't have the wrong group of people. You're saying the wrong things to the right group of people. So don't walk away from your deal because you don't understand your deal. Understand your deal. So that's why these things are so very important when it comes to sales. Anybody else got anything? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. So, all right. So guys, I just finished my ebook. So my ebook is going to be releasing here probably in about another 30 to 45 days. The ebook is Network Marketing as an Entrepreneur. The ebook is only $4.99. I know that's a bank breaker. I'm going to be pre-selling it for $2.49. You know, $2.50 is the ebook, so it's not a big expense. It is going to be one that you can download and print off if you want it. So if you like, no, I want to actually be able to mark it up and do whatever. You can print it off and mark it up and do whatever, or you can read it on your computer screen as an ebook. I do have a contributing author in the book, which is Tiffany Sullivan. So Tiffany Sullivan is doing has done the chapter on starting a business. So for those that are saying, hey, I want to go ahead and start my business, I want to have an LLC or an S Corp or whatever. Well, she's a business attorney, and she's done pages and papers and write-ups and magazines on that kind of stuff, because that's what she does as an attorney. So that entire chapter is nothing but Tiffany Sullivan talking about how to form a company, what the different companies are, how you choose what company you want to start up. So that's in the book. Also some things on how to prepare for conventions, how to either save money as a network marketer and prepare for your convention, or as a 9-to-5er, how to budget yourself annually to go to your conventions and not get hit at once. That's in the book as well. That's one of the chapters in the book as well. I'm also talking about as network marketing, how to network before you market, right? So that's network marketing. You have to network and then market. So I'm talking about in that chapter, joining networking organizations, because you can create an organization by being a part of networking groups, and that is where you will get some of your prospects from. So that's also in the book too. So in that ebook, there's a lot on how to network as an entrepreneur. And I'm gonna be releasing 3 ebooks over every 90 days. I'm gonna be releasing another ebook until I release my actual book, because my coaches do not want me to release my full book under this current climate. With elections coming up, with race relations and protests, and with coronavirus happening, it's just not a good idea. So the ebooks I'll be releasing the ebook every 90 days until things change on that climate. So that's what's happening. Remember, like I said, I'll be doing pre-sales on the book on my website, and the pre-sales are going to be $2.49 for the book. If you wait until the book actually comes out, it's going to be $4.99 for the book. Either way, it's not a whole bunch of money, guys, but I am going to be doing some giveaways and some promotions. And if you're buying books for your organization, it's going to be a different price. So if you're saying, hey, look, I got a team of 20 people and I want to get books, we want to all get a book, of course, it's going to be a different price and all that kind of stuff. My book is self-published, so I don't have a third party I have to talk to about and giving any deal. It's my book. I wrote it, I published it through my publishing company, so I don't have to worry about, I can give whatever deal I want, so don't worry about that kind of stuff. So I appreciate you guys for being on. Again, I will get this information out to you guys. I appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Next week, Shark, Urchin, and the week after that, I'm going to be going over some more personality traits that's not tied to the fish particularly, but just personality traits when you're dealing with people. Because guys, you got to understand the psychology of sales so that you get better at whatever it is you're selling, wherever you're selling it at. And especially for you guys that are in network marketing, that's going to be going all into the UK. You got to know who you're dealing with. You're dealing with different people from a different country that's got different personalities and